Hello everyone, it's Dawn. Welcome back. Welcome to our subscribers, both long-term and our newcomers. Lovely to see you. And welcome to anyone who's watching, whether you're subscribed or not. But if at the end of this video that you decide you do like it, I'd really love it and appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell, then you'll never miss another video from me. So as we are launching into spring fairly rapidly now, I'm going to make a spring style card, if you like. And we're going to simply call this a daisy card, and it'll be a thank you card, but you can use it obviously for anything you like. You can use it for a Mother's Day card, which is coming up in a few days. You can use this for an Easter card, but I'm going to make a thank you card. So let's get started. I'm going to use, for my card base, I am going to have a card base which is coloured this time. So mine is this lovely bright pink. You don't have to if you don't want to, but you'll see why when we start the actual card. And that is a 5x7. There aren't many measurements, but the measurements there are, I will add in the description below for you. There is a white mat, which is 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. Now there should be another mat, white mat, 4 3/4 by 6 3/4 to go on the inside, but I forgot to cut it. So we won't be putting that in today, but because it's a bright card, you'll need something white to write on. So there will be eventually one on the inside, but I'm sure you can do that without me showing you how to do it. So I'll show you how we do the top part, or at least how I do the top part. So you will need another mat which is green. Well, in my case it's green, and that is also 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. Now you will have noticed I have die cut a shape in the left hand corner here. Now this is actually a daisy, it's not actually a daisy die at all, it's a sunflower die, but if you put it on white it makes a very nice daisy. Daisy dies and sunflower dies can be used for one or the other depending on what colour card you use. So there's a bit of an economical tip for you. And on the back I have put some foam tape, some foam pads, beg your pardon, not foam tape. And I've turned it over so that you can see how I've put them. I've arranged them so that they support this aperture here. So I've put one there, one on the other side, and I've put them all around so that they support this aperture, because what we don't want it to do, we don't want it to sink. And on top of each foam pad, I have put a little bit of glue, a bit of this stuff, some glue stick, just a little bit to stop it so we don't get that instant stick, and we've got a little bit more time to put it in the right place. So I'm going to turn it over, and I'm just going to slide it forward just a little bit so I can see what I'm doing, because I haven't got room to stand up from where I'm sitting. But because this is the same, actually we don't need to do that, because this mat is the same size as that white mat, normally I would start from the top, or the bottom. I would start from the bottom, but because I've cut it quite close to the edge, a bit closer than I normally would, but that doesn't matter. So I'm still going to move it forward a bit so that I can see it. So if we cover the white with the green mat, so that's not bad. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. So I can live with slight imperfection. We've got a bit of white here, but just run your finger down it, it'll be fine. I don't mind a little bit of white showing actually. Now obviously we need a centre. Now this is quite a large die. So in fact, let me grab my ruler. I'll tell you what the largest die is, the diameter anyway. So the largest diameter from its two widest points are, oh, it's a big one. It's fractionally under 3.5. I'd say, well, round it off to about 3.5. 3.5, it's not quite 3.5, but if we allow for that, 3.5 will be fine. So the largest diameter of our largest die is 3.5 inches, and diameter is straight across the middle. And I have got a 1 inch, I've punched, this is just done from a paper punch, and this is a 1 inch punch. And I've used a fluted one, and to put it in the centre, I'm going to use my red runner tape. Sorry guys, could you see that? I'll move it up a bit. So I'm just going to, I could have used glue, but it was on the table, so that's why I used it. I'm just going to simply pop that in the middle-ish, like that. And so we've already got our first daisy. Now, I've got two daisies that I've die cut. Now these daisies are actually layering dies, but I've not layered it this time. I've just done a single one, and I've punched another small little centre there, and the diameter of this one is 2 inches. And I think that's probably about a 1/4 of an inch. Yeah, it's the middle, this part here is about just over a 1/4 of an inch, so 1/4 to whatever the next one up is. So I'd say 1/4 of an inch. And on the back, we've got some, again, I've got some foam pads, or a foam pad. Well, actually, it's half a foam pad. And I'm going to stick that there. And I've got another one, and this is just an ordinary foam pad that I've cut in half widthways. Not lengthways this time, I've cut it in half widthways. I'm just going to move my ruler out of the way. And I'm going to stick that down there. Now, I had originally made some 3-dimensional daisies, and I was going to put them up here. But I've decided it's going to look a bit unbalanced with these flat daisies. I thought it looked a bit bulky and unbalanced, so I've decided not to use those. I have made them, and my intention was I was going to show you how I made them and then put them on the project, but we'll do that for we'll save that for another project. So the only thing we've got to do now is put our sentiment on. And as I said at the beginning of our video, this is going to be a thank you card. And okay, it hasn't got daisies on it, but I found the most gorgeous thank you sentiment in my stash, and I have got some foam tape on here this time just to pop it up a little bit. And I'm going to take that off. I'm not going to bother putting any glue on the back because it's only a short bit. And I'm going to pop that along there like that. Now, one more quick tip before we go. That could be finished. Okay, I didn't put the mat in. We will put or later on I will put a white mat on the inside. But what you could do, this, originally I was going to use one of these to make the aperture daisy, but it was too small. So I'd already cut it out in green. Sorry, I'm not sure you can see that if I move it over. But what we could do, I've already pulled a couple off. I've already pulled 1 or 2 off I've been having a little play. So what we could do, there's no such thing as a green daisy. So what we could do, we could pull off a couple of these. Well, they were petals, but because they're green, they're now leaves. So we could pull a couple of those off, and we will use our glue this time. And all I'm going to do, I'm going to put a bit of glue over the top of our sentiment, or a little bit of our sentiment, and I'm going to stick that down there like that. I think we'll just have it up a little bit higher. Put a little blob more glue like that. This is just glue stick. A strong glue stick would be advisable for this. And put another one just like that, just to give it a bit more interest. If you wanted to, you could put some more up there. But, I mean, you could play with this all day if you wanted to, but I promise you we won't. So I'm going to call that finished. So this is our thank you card, and I've made it with daisies. But of course you don't have to use daisies. You can use whatever flowers, or, well, you don't even have to use flowers if you don't want to. You can use whatever you like. So this is just an idea. So we've got 1 large aperture die, just to recap, and 2 smaller dies that we actually cut out. So these are die cuts. This is an aperture shape, and these are die cuts. So you've got 1 that's actually laid in, and 1 or 2, or more if you want to, but I've just decided to do 2, that are die cut and sticking on top, or popping up on top. So there you go, guys. There is our spring day. I think we'll call it our spring daisy card. I might call it a thank you card, but we'll call it a spring daisy card. Then you can put whatever sentiment on it you want to. So that's it for today, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you have a go yourself. And until next time, thank you so much for watching. Take care, everybody. Have fun, and as always, happy crafting. Bye bye for now.